Kenyans, Finance Bill 2026 is on the cards.
Again?
Yes. Finance Bill 2026. If you do not go and bring your petitions, just remember that this bill, mutaenda kwa streets. Tena.
So this one is going to be an annual event, occurrence every year again.
Let me just break it down a bit for you, Solo, and see. The Finance Bill 2026 was published on 30th April and is now before Parliament, and every Kenyan deserves to know what is in it. The government targets 3.63 trillion in revenue in 2026-2027, a wider budget deficit of 5.3% of GDP in the 2026-2027 fiscal year, June to July, up from 4.7 in 2025-2026. These are not unreasonable, by the way, but the manner in which the burden of achieving them is distributed is a cause of a serious concern. They're saying on tax filing timelines, the bill moves the income tax return deadline from April, June.
Yes.
Deadline is April 30th, which is 2 months earlier than the current June 30th, and compresses nil return filing to January 31st. Where's work a nil return?
I remember KRA had an issue with that, and they said that nobody is supposed to return nil returns when they're making their returns to KRA.
Yes.
Wow. So this one looks like they're a bit stringent measures on how to collect the monies from Kenyans.
Yes. And on Mitumba, the bill inserts a new section 12H.
Yes.
Into the Income Tax Act, which deems profit at 5% of customs value payable upfront before goods are released by KRA as a final tax. Ikiingia tu 5%.
Yes.
A trader importing a bale worth cash 1 million pays 50,000 regardless of whether they make a profit or a loss.
Wow.
The
hustler's effect.
Is a hustler. The bill increases also residential income tax. Come on to Foroti.
Yes.
Maguta. Foroti.
They are going to be charged
from 7.5% to 10%.
And that one, of course, will go down and stream down, implicating Kenyans.
Yes.
Because landlords will have to compensate that tax increment.
Yes.
From 7 to 10.
Yes.
And that one is going to, it's just the same way that the fuel prices went high before they were regulated to 8% from 15%. I don't know. Looks like this one
is a hustler budget.
It's a hustler budget.
On digital financial services, the bill removes existing VAT exemptions on money transfers and payment processing. These are tools of financial inclusion that millions of Kenyans, including the very people this government says it wants to reach, rely on daily, making them more expensive, will not serve the objectives of a broader tax base. So, ukituma pesa, there's a bit of tax there.
Yes.
So, let's continue. The amendment of Section 24 of the income tax empowers KRA to deem at least 60% of companies' undistributed income dividends for tax purposes. This fails to account for legitimate decisions on reinvestment, working capital, business growth. It is also retrogressive that it sends the wrong signal to the investors Kenya needs. Finally, or two, because I'm not going to pay, a 25% excise duty on telephone for cellular and wireless networks is proposed.
25%.
A phone is not a luxury. It is how Kenyans bank, communicate, conduct business, and access government services. Parliament must interrogate this carefully. If you ongeza 25%, people will not afford phones.
I can imagine those girls who've been buying iPhones for 150,000 shillings.
Yes.
Now
add
it's
25% tax.
Now it's gonna go too much high, 200,000 and something.
Yes. On payee,
Yeah.
Kenyans were expected to a relief and a restructuring of the tax bands to ease the burden of unsalaried workers. That proposal does not appear in this bill. It is not a minor omission. An explanation must be given to Kenyan employed workers. And to be fair, the bill has a bit of merit, by the way. There's a reduction of corporate tax for non-existent as residential companies from 37 to 30%. To improve the investment climate. The extension cut tax amnesty over liabilities up to 31st, 2025. So there's a tax amnesty which is until last year. And of course, it provides a genuine and welcome pathway compliance. VAT exemption also on electric buses, bicycles, dialysis, animal feed, raw materials, and PPP infrastructure are also in that list.
These are the things that we are actually importing into the country.
Yes. Though, so we cannot, if these things are not checked properly, and the Kenyans, you know how it works. If you don't interrogate the finance bill 2026, 2027, the way it's been presented by my good friend Kuria Kimani. You know Kuria Kimani?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So he's a finance budget committee chair.
Finance chair, yes.
So he's the one who prepares it. So if you've not dealt with him, make sure that you present your petition. There are many parts of this we've not actually tackled. But it is what it is.
These are just some of the nitty-gritties that are going to be included in that finance bill.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just for public interest, when is the date for public participation and expected?
They have actually put date. I think it's in National Gazette. They always say the areas they'll be. And yesterday they published they'll be around Mombasa.
For public participation?
Yes, yes. They move to different areas.
Physical
for the public
movement.
Yes, for the public to come and present their petitions.
Yes.
So the public should basically go and present their petitions and interrogate this budget.
Yes. Because if they do, then the burden is going to fall on Kenyans.
Yeah.
Largely, I've seen some things which have really been... you see, if we also start importing animal feeds and...
raw materials.
Raw materials. What are we doing to our local industries? That is number one.
The biggest problem has been... I don't have a problem with it that much. The problem has been that in Kenya, those raw materials have been taxed.
Yeah.
And when you compare, and this is why you see eggs from Uganda penetrating Kenya in drafts, because the animal feed production in Uganda is extremely cheap.
Yes.